their Baba saw them, and he would not enter the house till these people reached the house, the gate. And then once these people reached the gate, Baba went, took Aarti and went inside the house, and then made them sit down, and then he materialized vibhuti and gave it to my mother, and told her to eat it all up, and assured her that delivery would be smooth and safe. And 1 week after that, I was born.
Sai Ram, dear listeners, welcome to Sai Soul 100. Our guest today is Sister Vasanthi Srinath, who's joining us from Fairfax, Virginia. Sai Ram, Sister Vasanthi, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100.
Sai Ram, Sister Prabha, thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this session.
Please share your story.
Sai Ram, I'll start by saying how I came into Swami's fold, and I call him Baba. And it was, I was born into Baba's family. This happened way back in 1964 when my mother and my grandmother heard of Swami, and they actually were very interested in the bhajans that were being sung at their neighbor's place. So they wanted to participate in the bhajans. So my mom, my aunt, and my grandma, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother. So they all went to attend the bhajans, and the bhajans were very beautiful. They learned all the songs, and they would sing at home. And slowly they got very interested, and they wanted to see who this Baba they were singing about was. So what they decided was they would go to Puttaparthi, and that was just my two grandmothers, my grandmother and my great-grandmother. They said they would go to Puttaparthi with my uncle, and the three of them went to Puttaparthi. And that time there were not many people, everything, it was a small village, and Baba was very, very accessible to them, extremely, very close. And so he called them for an interview, and they spent a long time, and Baba, put all their anxieties to rest, and, they basically told them about everything that had happened, what they were wishing for, what they were anxious about. And my grandmother was so emotional. She was so overwhelmed. She was an older lady, but Swami was a young boy. He was a young man. And then she was so emotional, and he led them out of the interview room and was very, very loving and kind. And my mom actually told me, when you're telling the story, don't get emotional. But I do get very emotional when I think of Swami. And then Baba... Then they came home, and they mentioned this story to my mom and my aunt and my grandfather. And these people, what they did was they said, we also want to see Swami. And they also went the next week the same way. And again, when they went there, Baba was there and called them for an interview. And he told them, last week, your family members had come here. See how all-knowing he is. He knew everything, that my grandmothers had gone to see him the previous week. And they said, yes, Swami, my family was here, and that's why we are here. And again, bless them, and, with a lot of love. And then, so my parents, my family was hooked. They were in Baba's fold. And after that, there was no looking back. Everybody was like... we had Baba's pictures all over the house. He was in the puja room, worshipped like how we worship a god. And, that was the situation. And then they were also, all our family members, one by one, started to go visit Baba. And everybody was so lovingly, they had interviews. Baba spoke with them and everything. So family was very much into the fold. Then fast forward many years later, my mom was expecting me. And 1 week before I was born, my mom and my grandmother were going on a walk in Bangalore. And I was born in Bangalore. And suddenly she sees a car with a big mop of hair, going, just whizzing past them. And it was Bangalore. It was a regular, evening, and they didn't know anything. And my mom recognized it, Baba, Baba, and they knew it was Swami, and they just, hurried behind the car. And the car stopped at somebody's house. Somebody had invited Baba over, and their family and their friends were all there. And my mom and my grandmother knew nothing about it. They were just on a walk. And as they were going, their Baba saw them, and he would not enter the house till these people reached the house, the gate. And then once these people reached the gate, Baba took Aarti and went inside the house, and then made them sit down. And then he materialized vibhuti and gave it to my mother, and told her to eat it all up, and assured her that delivery would be smooth and safe. And 1 week after that, I was born. It was like really very, and my mom was telling me today, it wasn't like they had gone to Whitefield or they didn't go to Pupparthi. It happened right where they were, that close. And then after that, so that is how I basically was born into Swami's family, and that's how I grew up. So growing up right from when I was a little kid, Baba wasn't anything new. Like how they showed me Rama and Krishna, they showed me Baba like that. That was how my family was. And then after that, there were lots of instances. Of course, I had Baba's darshan, but not an interview like that. Because when I was there were lots of people, but I could see Baba close up, Swami close up, but never like an interview as such, but a lot of dreams, and so many dreams. And then, so one of the most recent, not recent, like a very important type of thing was like, many years ago, we were searching for a house, and that time the real estate market was very high. And even though I was in Baba's school, I was not like in a Sai center. I didn't do Bal Vikas or, anything like that. But, we were, devotees of Swami, but I never did anything formal. So had not been to a center or anything like that. Then suddenly one night I had a dream where Baba is sitting in a big high wing chair, and sitting in a living room of a house. And I was like, oh, wow. And we were looking for a house then. And then we were losing in all the bids, nothing was coming through. And school had opened. My children had to go to school, and nothing was falling through. And so I said, I dreamt of Baba, last night. So today, whichever house we are going to see, we are going to get that house. That immediately that thought came into my mind. And you won't believe, that day we came into this house where I am now, and we won the bid on that house. And then slowly I started to attend Sai Center close by here. And then I realized that in the Sai Centers, you have that big chair where Baba sits. And, that is the chair where we believe that Baba is sitting there, right? Similar type of a high big chair I had dreamt in my dream, and then I associated with it. So there was another instance. I was doing my CPA, and that exam was rigorous, hard for me. And then everybody was like, my family, of course, my mom was praying for me and everything. And in the middle, she hadn't told me this. She hadn't mentioned this dream to me. But in that dream, Baba came to her and said that, your daughter is doing this exam. She's going to pass it. She's going to pass the exam. And then she's going to have 2 children. He came and told her in the dream. And then, so my mom kind of knew what my result would be. And when I was stressing out and everything, of course, she didn't tell me all that. She just kept quiet. She said, yeah, you have to work. And, that kind of encouragement and support. But she never mentioned this dream. And then after that, the exams were done. And, this was a while ago, very long ago. It's a rigorous exam to pass. And that time, you won't imagine, the pass marks was 75 or something like that. And there were 4 papers. And all the 4 papers, just like how Baba said, 75, 75, 75, 75. Not one mark less, not one mark down. And then it was just so amazing. I never expected it, but just enough to scrape through, and get my work done. And then when I told my mother, my mom told me this dream that she had already dreamt of it and she knew the result way before it happened. And then my children were born, and both their names have Sai in them. My older one is Akshay Sai Narayan, and my younger one is Suhas Sai Narayan. So they put the Sai middle name for both of them. And just like how Baba had said in the dream, that's exactly how the children were born. I wanted my boys to have Baba's darshan. So when we went to Bangalore, we went to Whitefield where Baba was visiting. Again, Baba's schedule at that time was very unpredictable. Sometimes people would wait and he would not be able to come. He was busy, and then sometimes there were different situations. So we never knew that Baba would be able to give us darshan that day. And that day, and my younger one was very small, very young child. My older one was fairly old. He understood, the discipline that you have to stay quietly, sit down quietly, and all that. And we had left Bangalore like very early in the morning, because that time, Bangalore was not like how it is now. Whitefield was a pretty far place to go. Now it's all connected by metros. And then so we went there, and they had segregated like the men on one side, and but my children, because they were small, they let them sit with me. And I was like, we were there early in the morning, sitting in line, sitting in the front side, so that we would have darshan. And everybody wasn't sure whether Swami would come or not. No, not sure at all. And then I was like, Baba, we come from such a faraway place, and these children are very small, and don't make it so late, that they'll get anxious and start crying. And once the child starts crying, then obviously they're so disciplined, they were going to ask you to leave the place and everything. You have to take the baby and stand outside. And what's the point of going all along? And we waited this long, please come. And they were like, Swami's schedule today is going to be a little late. He's going to come after 1 o'clock. And everything. I was like, Baba, please don't make it that long. Want you to come early so that we have your darshan. These children won't stay for that long. And then, you won't believe, right then there was Nadaswaram starting. Just as I was saying that, Nadaswaram starting. And, that day there was, Baba had done the Upanayanam ceremony of Brahmopadesham of a lot of young small boys, they call vatus, they were getting their sacred thread and everything. And so Baba came out to bless everybody. So that day, where he was expected to come out later, he came out like 2 hours early, and then came and blessed everybody, all of us. Of course, we saw him from far, but then we got his darshan, and we came home very happily because, our mission was accomplished. I wanted my boys to have that grace, and it happened. And he didn't even make us wait for long. It was a beautiful time. And then this was something that I wanted to mention. Again, I dreamt of Swami. And that time, what happened was when I dreamt of Swami, it was like I said, I have to go to the Sai Center. I hadn't gone in many, many years. I hadn't gone at all. So then I said, today I have to go. Swami came into my dream, and he said some things to me, and I said, I have to go now. And so I went to the old center, because the Center of Ballet Arts was on 29. I went there.
And this is the Sri Satya Sai Center of Fairfax, when they used to be in the old Ballet Arts
studio. Should you be in the old ballet center? I went there, and then I looked all around, and then no center there. And then I don't know what made me think. I said, I think this is all Swami's direction. He tells you where it is and everything. Then I said, then I thought to myself, I didn't know anything. I had absolutely lost contact. And I was a disciple of Swami, devotee of Swami, used to always pray to him, but never actually went to a center. And then I said, maybe that Center of Ballet Arts has moved somewhere. And sitting in my car, I Googled, I said, where is that new Ballet Arts Center? It's moved somewhere. And maybe the Fairfax Sai Center also moved with the center. So if I find that, I'll be able to go there. Then I said, okay, Google, and they said it's in the new place. Then I said, okay, let me go to the new place and see. And I came there. I saw lots of cars outside. And I knew that was the center. He had guided me, brought me there, And I said, yeah, this is the center. This is where the people are. I see all the cars. It's Sunday evening. It's not the ballet center people, it's the Sai Center people, folks. And then I came there. And truly enough, that was Sai Center. That was where I met all of you. It was 2018. That was when I started back again. And it was just, he brought me back to the center, said, you've come to the center now. It was like that. But it was funny that, at that time, sitting in the car, I was Googling, where did that new ballet center go? That is how it came about. So it's like, it's always been Swami. We call him Baba, Swami interchangeably. For me, he's Sai now.
Yeah, that truly is a miracle, actually, because when the ballet arts moved, Fairfax Eye Center didn't have to move with it. It was just a venue, right?
It was just a venue. And that's what I'm saying. It's guiding me, game in the dream, and then made me say, okay, I have to go back to the center now. And then, to get the idea that if this has moved, that place, it's not necessary it should happen, but for those ideas, those thoughts to strike you, and all that is just his blessing. It just comes from his grace. He directs you.
Sai, Sister Vasanthi, thank you for sharing your beautiful stories, beginning with your grandmother and your great-grandmother going to Swami, and then just a week later, rest of your family going, and Swami recognizing that your family had come the previous week as well. Along with that, it's such a blessing for your mother to receive Swami's blessings when she was expecting you, just by Swami driving right past your car, and then you were able to follow him, and Swami gave vibhuti to your mother. What a blessing. And then on top of that, your beautiful dreams, where Swami is guiding you in the purchase of your home, attending the Sai Center, and then seeing Swami's chair at the Sai Center. So it's a blessing for you to have had a dream of it, and then going to the Sai Center and finding out that they actually do have a chair for Swami to sit on. And then I also love your story of your attending Fairfax Sai Center, where you attended the old venue, and then you were given an inner prompt to say, if the Center for Ballet Arts, which is the venue at which Fairfax Sai Center was held, had moved to a different location, that maybe the Sai Center had also moved with it, which did turn out to be the case, but for you to have that direction from within, for you to follow through and then to go to the Sai Center. So beautiful, beautiful experiences. Thank you for sharing your stories, Sister Vasanthi. Sai Ram, dear listeners, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100 with Sister Vasanthi Srinath. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sai Ram.